Today we're back in Grand Cross Age of Titans. It's a city building war game that is very similar to what you normally see on my channel. That's Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons, but it's got an anime art style that I think you might really enjoy. I gotta give a big shout out at the front of this video to the makers of Grand Cross Age of Titans for sponsoring this video. And if you want to pre-register for the go live of the game, check out the link in the description. Using that link will support the channel, and thank you again to Grand Cross Age of Titans for sponsoring today's video. Here's what we're going to do today. I am going to give you 8 killer tips to get a ton of power very quickly in Grand Cross Age of Titans. So if you pre-register for the game, again, using that link in the description, when the game goes live, you will be ready to power up. And if the game is already live and you're watching this in the future, hey, let's get that value. The first trick I'm going to give you is insane. It's 2-for-1 value on your speed ups, literally double value. And if you play Rise of Kingdoms, you know this hack. What we're going to do is do an upgrade to the Academy. Now, the weirdness about the Academy, which is where you do research that gives you huge economic and military benefits, and also your troop training buildings. If you upgrade one of these buildings, you can't also be training troops. You can't also be doing research at the same time. So if I speed up the upgrade of the building, not only do I get the building done faster, now I'm getting double duty on those speed ups because for that whole 24-hour window, I would have been waiting for the building to finish. I can do research again. So we'll do this particular hack right now. It's extremely powerful. I'm going to speed up this particular building over here. Oh, I almost used 8-hour speed ups. Yo, that would have been a disaster. Okay, good thing I got the warning there. Boom. We speed up this quarry. We're going to upgrade the Academy. And I am going to use speed ups as soon as I get helps. Okay, so these are the buildings where you can get this incredible value. The helps, you can see how many you've gotten in the assistance section. You'll get these from your alliance. You really should never sleep overnight with your academy, your troop training buildings, and once you level up your city enough, ooh, I'm wasting production time over here. The Titan Foundry is another one of those buildings. The Titan Foundry is a little bit more of an advanced concept related to your Titans. You don't have to worry about this at the start of the game. But you will get your Titan soon enough. Somewhere around City Hall, I want to call it 15 or 16. When your castle gets to that point, you'll unlock your Titans. So those are the 3 building types you always want to speed up. It's your training grounds, your academy, and also your Titan Foundry. Now from here, there are other things that can give you great gains in building speed and research speed. So tip number 2 of the 8 tips I'm going to give you today is that you should always rush your technology that gives you a discount on either building or research. This is really important, and now I find myself wanting to show you technology, but I'll have to come back to it after I've got my 10 helps. I'll speed up the building. Tip number 3 for what you should rush and where you should spend your gems is actually VIP. And this is similar. You can get building speed and research speed upgrades, but VIP is massive in this game. And, you know, in this style of game, you would expect it to be. The only place you should spend your gems at the start of the game is getting your VIP ideally to level 8. Now, when you get to level 8, you get a research speed boost. You've got a training speed boost. You've got some production boosts, which is really exceptional. Also, I've got gathering speed, building speed, but most importantly, this is the break point where every day you get a mana stone for a legendary hero of your choice. That is a big deal. So upgrading your VIP and spending gems there is very, very important. And if you are spending in the game, you'll get a bunch of VIP naturally from bundles that you buy. If you aren't spending or you're a low spender, then dropping gems into here to get to VIP 8 as soon as you can is a great project to rush. And the rewards do get better. I mean, it's a lot of VIP to get up to 11. But if you got to 11, you'd get more building speed, hospital capacity, gathering speed, hero experience, and 2 legendary mana stones per day. So VIP is a big deal. And again, those breakpoints at the start of the game for even just a free-to-play or low spender is VIP level 8. And if you're spending more moderately, VIP 11 is a great place to get to. Now, this brings us to tip number 4. And This is related to getting heroes, right? First, we were talking about, hey, you can get some hero tokens over here. These are called mana stones from VIP. But the other important place you're going to get these is from summons. And what you should not do is, funny enough, the thing that I always do for my videos, which is that I'll hoard up my summons in order to save them for a video. You should always do all of your summons as soon as you can at the start of the game. Why is that? First of all, you really do need the heroes. So at the start of the game, unlocking more heroes is a big deal. If you do happen to unlock a legendary hero, then great news. If you're spending, you'll get a pop-up bundle that is really, really high value. Just like in Rise of Kingdoms, it's Writer of History. Here you have an equivalent that'll give you 10 legendary mana stones. In this case, I got 4 blues. Not the best pull, but here's what's important. The other reason you should not hoard your summons at the start of the game is that you get additional troops. You literally are gifted troops every time you full pull a hero. So this is the way that I got the overwhelming majority of my troops to do stuff at the start of the game, is from these hero full pulls. You really want to do all of your summons. Do not hoard them like I have. And the speed ups here are actually quite meaningful. So you want to get your hands onto as many of these items as you can for doing these summons. They're the advanced prayer books. I'm going to blast through these and we'll see how we do. I've got 50 summons. Okay, let's go. Please, please be good. Can we get some epics, please? How did we do? Come on. And I thought I saw a flash of purple, but we got 3 blues. GG. I am getting low-key a little bit wrecked on summons here, but, you know, that's just how it works. There's RNG. If you wanted to see, by the way, the chances, they're in the upper right. The legendaries, you can get Ivan, Claudia, Isaac, Corvo, Agnes, Arthur, Helga, Numa. Actually, there's a lot of legendaries that you can get here. I just seem to not be having a lot of luck getting them recently, but the chances of getting them is pretty low. And even getting epic heroes at the start of the game is a big deal. And I'm going to talk more about those heroes in a minute. I think I saw purple there. I think this is an epic pull. I think we're getting an epic here, okay? If the colors in that cutscene were any indicator, we're going epic, baby. Come on, please. Please be good. There we go. Okay, we went epic. Good stuff, man. Oh, and hey, I really like this one. Dude, I use her for defending my city. Area of effect damage. I'm going to make a separate video talking about which heroes are actually the very best in this game, because there's a lot to cover there. And there's so much more I want to do in this video. I kind of want to pull more, but maybe we save that for the end of the video, okay? Let's go to tip number 5, which is to focus on heroes that are hunters at the start of the game. The hunt talent tree is related to battling monsters on the map, and these heroes often give you bonus experience or do extra damage when you're hunting. So for example, this particular hero comes from the VIP crates. I did purchase the, I think it was a couple $1 bundles, and I got the first skill maxed out, which is amazing. But if I were to specialize her for hunting, I would be able to go in and get a ton of really cool stuff, bonus damage dealt to monsters, but most importantly, decreasing the stamina to hunt monsters is a big deal. And giving yourself more bonus experience every time you do a hunt. 30% more experience when you use these heroes as the primary for hunting. Heck yeah, man. So my recommendation to you as you start to build up your account is to pick 4 hunting heroes, 1 for each troop type, and then to pair them with another hero, 1 for each troop type that you wanted to level up. So for me, I personally did Valkyrie with this legendary VIP hero, Sekhmet. From there, I did, for archers, Helena, who's got the hunt tree, and I pair her with Heimosu, who I'm probably not pronouncing correctly, but she is just like really awesome circle area of effect damage. I use her to defend my city. For infantry, I have the legendary Claudia, who I got very recently, and I'll explain to you how you get her as well. I use her as the primary, and then I'll use Destina as the secondary. She is my other city garrison at this moment in time. The combine and station trees are so good for that. And the final combo that I use is Octaus and Ramses. And that's how I use all my combat engineers. So I basically have 1 combo for each troop type, Leveling up your heroes is an important part of this game. Every time you hunt monsters, you're also getting a bunch of goodies, speed ups, resources that help your account. And there are just so many benefits to enhancing your ability to accelerate your hero growth. When you go to fight other players, being high level really matters. Now, I did want to give you a quick tip, by the way, about how you get some of these heroes and which ones to focus on. I mentioned a bunch already, but Claudia, just so you know, comes from an event right over here. Here it is, the Hero's Return. At the end of this event, I'm going to get another 30 Mana Stones of Claudia. So this is giving me a pretty good start on this legendary hero. Better than all my other legendary heroes for sure. So I'm starting to work on her. One other legendary hero that you might want to work your way into pretty early on, if I make my way over to the Alliance Monster Hunt, okay, the Demon Extermination, there's a little shop over here, okay, and this shop lets you pick up Karma Mana Stones at a discount. Every week you can get them for a discount. So those are some of the heroes I'd recommend you start with that'll just really accelerate your progress. You use the monsters to go, battle against the PvE objectives and the Monster Hunt heroes, and then you use your other heroes that you paired them with as the primary when you do stuff like Arena and battling other players. By the way, I keep getting this notification over here that troops are supporting me. That's because I'm in the Alliance Resource Pit. I'm not going to count this as one of the tips because, obviously you should be gathering resources on the map when you're not, battling monsters. So the majority of your day, your troops should be out of your city and they should be gathering. And the simple trick there, if you're like, which, heroes do I even work on for that, is that you find the ones that say gather. You take them to level 10 2-star, unlock the second skill, and you get some gathering talents, and you just run them out and you gather. Very simple. Okay, let's jump now to tip number 6. And this is related to which buildings in your city you should be rushing. And the building you really should be rushing to gain power fast in this game is the castle. Rushing the castle will be on the critical path for your story over here, and you should work on these chapters as fast as you can. In fact, after this video ends, I'm going to speed up all my training grounds to get them to 12 to move on to the next chapter myself. In fact, on the topic of speeding up buildings, we can see now for my academy, I almost have enough helps, but look at this. I saved 6 hours, 3 minutes, and 39 seconds. Yeah, I'll wait for 2 more helps, man. It's so amazing how many speed ups of value I'm getting when people just smash the help button, okay? But there are other buildings that are also really critical besides your castle, and great news. These buildings are the prerequisites for upgrading your castle anyways. I like that the game has done that. So in order to upgrade the castle, you're going to have to upgrade the hospital. The hospital also is a prerequisite for the embassy. The embassy is required to upgrade your castle. The embassy is how you get more helps from other players. Increase the level of this building and you can be helped more, which means you save speed ups. Amazing. In order to upgrade the embassy, I've got to finish the academy. Well, I just finished telling you that the academy is a very important building to be rushing the level on anyways. So the great news for rushing your castle is that it's going to put you on the critical path of upgrading all the other stuff you really should be focused on anyways. And that is sort of the prerequisite order and the things I would focus on. Always be leveling your castle. To do that, you're going to need at least one hospital getting leveled up, the academy, and also the embassy. Very critical buildings. Tip number 7. If you are low on speed ups, how can you gain power? And what I noticed is that there are some buildings that are a low number of speed ups and a high number of resources to do the upgrade. For example, if I want to upgrade this hospital to level 16, it's a lot of resources, 1 million of each, 8 hours of time. If I look at another building and I want to take it up to, let's call it maybe level 16, what do we got over here? The sawmill. If I take this up to level 18 even, okay? This requires very few resources, but it's barely giving me any combat power. And it's going to take way longer than the 8 hours, I assure you. So I think that the best building to upgrade if you want to gain a lot of power quickly is actually your hospitals. And this serves 2 purposes. One is power per time. There are many events in this game where gaining building-related power gives you rewards. And if you're in a hurry and you don't have a lot of speed ups, which you shouldn't in the early game, you should be rushing. You should be speeding up your buildings to be in a top tier alliance because you have a lot of power. And at the start of the game, that's the best sort of signal anyone has as to how serious you are about the game. Upgrading your hospitals serves that purpose, but also you have a hospital capacity. Okay. Now, my hospital capacity is 274,000. Bad news for Chisco Gaming, though. I have more than 270,000 troops. The way you can see your total troops is right over here, this little area. You click it, where all these troops are standing. My total forces are 509,000. So if somebody were to swarm my city and attack me right now, yeah, I might take out some of their troops on the way. But if they wanted, they could overflow my hospital, and that would be sad times for Chisco Gaming. So right now, I have way too many troops in my city. One way to mitigate that is instead of training new troops, what I have been doing is upgrading my low-tier troops to higher tiers of troops so that I don't have more troops that creates this situation where my hospital could overflow. And if we just look in on the hospital itself and we hit the info button, you can see here the way that wounds work in this game. A small number of soldiers will become heavily wounded when battling monsters. All heavily wounded soldiers are sent to the hospital when defending their castle against enemy attacks. Heavily wounded soldiers die when the battle takes place in an enemy castle or world building. Heavily wounded soldiers will be sent to the hospital when the battle takes place outside of a world building or at a resource deposit. Hospitals can heal the wounded, and the cost to do so is less than training soldiers, which is a good thing. Hospitals have a limit, however, to how many wounded soldiers they can accommodate. Heavily wounded soldiers will die immediately when the hospital is at max capacity. So, upgrading your hospitals serves many purposes. If you have the resources, you can gain a lot of power really quickly, and also you can protect your troops, which is a big deal. Now, there are other ways to protect your troops, like going into your city and setting a castle wall and actually having some garrison commanders that are defending it and skilling up and getting the right talents onto those heroes. I have done a little bit of that, but I'm still holding back a little bit for sort of what my hero investments are, and I'll be covering that in a future video. The final tip I want to give you is that the biggest multiplier for your progress, this is tip number 8 for how to gain power fast in Grand Cross Age of Titans, is to be in the best possible alliance. I really like the alliance that I'm in. The players here are engaged, super active. We have good allies, which is great. And the alliance is a multiplier in part because you get these helps. As I mentioned, I've been upgrading the academy. We're now at the point that I should speed up this building. It took a few minutes to actually get all these helps in, but I saved 6 hours and 47 minutes and 53 seconds. Now that those helps are here, I move into this building. It's absolutely worth using speedups here. Because I've been opening up my advanced summons, like I mentioned, I have a bunch of speedups here. We blast through these. And this is one of those buildings that after you get helped, you should speed it up. Okay, you always should. And sitting on a bunch of research speedups like I am right now is not exactly a good plan. But every time you upgrade this building, the first thing you should do, as I mentioned earlier, is see if you can improve your building speed and see if you can improve your research speed. Ooh, baby. Hello. Both of these upgrades are amazing. Before I queue up another building, actually, I'll just queue up a building that, 14 minutes is not going to take very long. But before I queue up a building that's going to take a really long time, first I'm going to do the research that improves my research speed. Then I'm going to do the research that improves my building speed. Then I'm going to queue up a building that takes a long time. And that, baby, is some freaking great efficiency. Now, the other thing your alliance does for you is it gives you crucial research. So on the topic of research speed, my alliance is giving me 3% research speed, and you should always donate to your alliance research. Even some gems is super worth in order to get your alliance research to a great spot. This research is crucial for your development. In addition, you get gifts. These gifts come from PvE and spending, and they are crucial. They give you great progress, and I've gotten some really nice items, including VIP, speedups, and more, by virtue of getting rare gifts of purchases that I and others have made. In addition, your alliance will give you territory. So if you thought at all like, oh, I'm just going to hang out with this alliance I'm in, I'm the most active player here, but it's okay, people are more casual. I don't know about that, man. For example, the alliance that we're in has upgraded one of our towers to summon monsters that when you kill them, you get mana stones, which is really cool. So I can get mana stones for heroes to get hero skill ups by battling some of these every day. And we have towers that we've upgraded that spawn in resource nodes, which is also pretty cool. So there's a bunch of upgrades that your alliance gives you that are just super powerful, man. This includes helps, this includes events, and so much more. So it may be tempting to slug it out with an alliance that doesn't have a lot of prospect, but let me tell you, so much of this game is going to be about community. And what community are you playing with? Getting into a super active community that matches your level of interest in the game has to be single-handedly, no question about it, the biggest multiplier for your progress in Grand Cross Age of Titans. Now, since we're toward the end of the video, what I'm going to do is jam through those advanced summons. But this is a great time for me to remind you that you can still pre-register for the launch of the game if you haven't already. So check out that link in the description to go pre-register for the game. I'm going to jam out some more summons here, but consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already for more Grand Cross Age of Titans videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. If you're already subscribed to the channel, you might even be playing in the same early access server as me. You would have known about the early access to the game and gotten into that. But the next best thing is pre-registering. And oh my God, that has to be the worst summon I've ever done. I don't think I knew you could pull and not even get a blue. I mean, look, sometimes you just end up with some unlucky pulls and sometimes you get lucky. Come on, baby. Give me something good. Please. Please, this time around, give me something good. Here we go. And come on. Okay, 3 blues. I'm feeling good about blues since I just had a pull where I got nothing. Oh, man. Okay. We get some blue heroes here. At least it's giving me some more troops. There we go. If you enjoyed the vid, again, do me a favor, throw a like on here, consider subscribing. If you want to see more videos about Grand Cross Age of Titans, I got great news for you. I'll have 2 cards in the end screen in just a second. One is an overview of the game where I give you sort of my first impressions of all the different aspects of the game after I just got my hands on it. The second video you might also be interested in, the developers gave me a bunch of footage of endgame combat, things like the castle siege, where you're sort of determining who's going to rule the kingdom, and more. So check out those 2 videos, cards in the end screen in just a second.